Will Smith, a name synonymous with Hollywood. Actor, rapper, producer, businessman, family man. There is nothing he can't do.
I feel like I'm in the right place, doing the right things in my life right now.
Smith has become one of the most decorated actors in Hollywood, and a face that is known around the world, remaining a popular figure throughout the 21st century. From a tough upbringing to an international superstar, Smith has come a long way in his storied career. From his early days, Will Smith was destined to become a superstar. On March 27, 2022, 20 years after his first nomination, Will Smith won his first ever Oscar. However, this, sadly, is not what people remember about the ceremony. Earlier on in the night, comedian Chris Rock was presenting the award for Best Documentary Feature and did a few small stand-up jokes on stage aimed at a few famous actors in the audience. Rock then made a joke about Jada Pinkett Smith's shaved head. Will then immediately walked onto the stage without saying a word and struck Chris across the face. Chris managed to recover with a couple more jokes despite Will shouting expletives, and the show continued. According to the Academy, Smith was asked to leave, but refused. Things got even more awkward later on the night when Will had to go back on stage to accept his award for Best Actor. In a tearful speech, Smith focused on divine justification, protecting his loved ones, and apologized to the Academy, other nominees, and the audiences. He notably did not, however, apologize to Chris. The Oscar incident cost Smith dearly, with his public image taking a huge dip. He was the subject of many memes and videos. However, on the more serious side of things, Smith was impacted by this massively. Most of his movies were delayed and postponed, and he was banned from appearing at the Oscars and later resigned from the Actors Guild after the Board of Governors had initiated disciplinary proceedings against him. Smith later issued an apology video and has since stayed relatively quiet on the subject despite the public's constant reporting on the strangeness of his relationship with Jada. Since the incident, Will has been somewhat laying low within the public eye, and his career seems to be taking a break, which is bound to change with the upcoming release of the sequel to his 2007 film, I Am Legend. Willard Carroll Smith Jr. was born on September 25, 1968, and raised in West Philadelphia. He had a stable and disciplined upbringing, attending a private Catholic elementary school. His parents pushed Will to work hard and chase excellence. Despite this, Will was raised in an abusive household.
I was raised in a really military household. You know, we had hospital corners on the end of our beds and the, shoes lined up, the whole deal. So I'm going to be that type of dad.
He and his 3 siblings witnessed the violence his father inflicted towards his mother, and sometimes were victims themselves. Speaking in his autobiography in 2021, Will described at length the harrowing nature of the abuse and how it has made him the person he is today. Within everything that I have done since then, the awards and accolades, the spotlights and attention, the characters and the laughs, There has been a subtle string of apologies to my mother for my inaction that day, for failing her in the moment, for failing to stand up to my father, for being a coward. As a child, Will was insecure, and he quickly developed a sense of humor as a coping mechanism for his father's violent behavior. Smith later confessed that at the age of just 13, he contemplated suicide after his mother, who was abused by his father, walked away from the family. She had enough and left. The incident left Smith feeling alone and guilty, driving him to suicidal thoughts. Smith's first passion wasn't acting. It was music. Developing an interest from a young age, Will started as an MC for the hip-hop duo DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. Collaborating with his childhood friend, Jeffrey, DJ Jazzy Jeff Towns, as a turntablist and producer, Smith began his rap career.
DJ Jazzy Jeff and yours truly, the Fresh Prince, are making an addition to all the events of the past and present musical eras. We want the young and the old to hear us as we blend to different styles of music. Never will another group be able to do this the way doing things. The present with the past, a hip-hop but with a touch of jazz. Now let me get everybody away to hit back and forth a little something like this. Let me hear you say yeah!
Philadelphia-based label Word Up Records released their first single in late 1985 called Girls Ain't Nothing But Trouble. From this, Smith became known for his lighthearted storytelling raps and battle rhymes, which were all profanity-free, something that he prided himself in.
Because my grandmother wouldn't have it no other way. When I first started writing rhymes in probably 80 is when I really first started to sit down and write rhymes, and I was writing raps in my book, and I had my 4-letter words in there. You know, I was writing all my stuff, and my grandmother found my rap book, and she wrote a letter in the back of my rap book. She said, "Dear Willard," that's my grandmother called me Willard. She said, "Dear Willard, truly intelligent people do not have to use words like this to express themselves. Show the world that you're as smart as we think they are." So, and then, you know, I decided, okay, all right, Grandma, you're right.
The single became a hit a month before Smith graduated from high school. Based on this success, the duo were brought to the attention of Jive Records. Their first album, Rock the House, debuted on Jive in March 1987. They received their first Grammy Award for Best Rap Performance in 1989 for Parents Just Don't Understand. Their most successful single was Summertime, which earned DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince their second Grammy. Despite being carefree and running into some money troubles in his younger years, Will Smith has built up his career to become one of the most successful names in Hollywood.
I represent the youth, and I represent success in America. I stand for someone that had a dream, looked forward to their dreams, worked hard, and was positive and came out on top. And that's what I want people to see when I'm riding down here this morning, early this morning.
When Will Smith was struggling financially in 1990, he turned to acting. And so when the NBC television network signed him to a contract and built a sitcom around him titled The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Smith saw this as his big break. The series starred Smith as a fictionalized version of himself, a street-smart teenager from West Philadelphia who was sent to move in with his wealthy aunt and uncle in their Bel-Air mansion. The show first aired on September 10, 1990. And with its catchy theme song, great comedic timing, and talented actors, it was an immediate hit. It launched Smith into a successful acting career and was ultimately his big break. The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air ran for 6 seasons, completing 148 episodes. The theme song to the show, written and performed by Smith under his stage name, The Fresh Prince, has become one of the most memorable raps to date. And Smith has said that he knows it will always be what he is most famous for.
Now this is a story all about how my life got flipped, turned upside down, and I'd like to take a minute, just sit right there. I'll tell you how I became the prince of a town called Bel Air.
The show did a great job of addressing controversial issues. Of course, it was a sitcom, but also played to emotional and serious storylines without disrupting the tone. One of the most fondly remembered episodes, Papa's Got a Brand New Excuse, shows Will's dad leaving his life once again after appearing for a brief period. The episode was so emotional, leaving the live audience in tears. Many people believed Smith's monologue was based on his own life experiences, but he clarified that he had a happy childhood, and his father was very present in his life. In 1992, Will Smith married Cherie Zampino, and they welcomed a son, Willard Carroll Smith III, known as Trey, on November 11, 1992.
Just for a minute. Oh, who is this, Will?
This is Trey. Oh, come on, man, come on.
Oh, look at how cute it is. Oh, I will after. I will. Tell us about him.
This is the real bad boy.
Oh, he wants.
Oh, Trey, tell me something, bad boy.
How are you?
He's got a picture.
You want to say it?
Bad boy, what you gotta do, what you gotta do, what you got for you?
But the two separated 3 years after marriage. Following on from The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, 25-year-old Will Smith ventured into movies and appeared in his first major roles in 6 Degrees of Separation in 1993 and Bad Boys in 1995.
I enjoy doing television. I'll do television, as long as people enjoy seeing it. I'm going to make my progression slowly into films. Television is a great job.
Bad Boys was a worldwide success, grossing over $141 million at the box office. However, the critical reception was mixed. The movie is still fondly remembered in modern times and has ultimately spawned 2 sequels and a 3rd on the way.
We really enjoyed ourselves the whole time. We went down to Miami, really didn't know exactly how it was going to be, what we were going to do. The script was really loose, so we had a lot of ad-libbing, so it was more work writing-wise than we usually do on film. So we went into it, and we had a lot of fun doing it. And you guys will tell me in a minute, or y'all let everybody know tomorrow whether or not it worked. It was like everyone knew that Martin and I had to put our stamp on this film. And that's what we did. We went in and we made it Martin and Will's, because it was originally written for John Lovitz and Dana Carvey.
In 1996, Smith starred in Independence Day. The film was a massive blockbuster, becoming the 2nd highest grossing film in history at the time, and established Smith as a prime box office draw.
I just wanted to hurry up and come out. Everybody's talking about it, but it hasn't been released yet. I just saw it. I love it. I'm just really waiting for the audience to check it out.
In the summer of 1997, he starred alongside Tommy Lee Jones in the hit movie Men in Black, playing Agent J.
I stay in movies. I have to stay in movies. I'm enjoying the movie world. Television is fun. It's people you love, you get to work with, but movies, that's creatures and monsters and all of that stuff are fun to be a part of creating, and it's difficult working in a scene when nothing's there because they put all of that stuff in later. But like watching how kids go crazy over stuff like that is a real joy in, being a part of this industry. It's those roles like 6 Degrees come along really rarely, so it's like really trying to find the work that is someone's life passion. 6 Degrees was John Guare's life passion. He worked on it for 15 years or something like that. And those pieces of work are kind of in the oven right now, so you got to wait for them to be done.
Men in Black was a huge success. and is now one of Will Smith's most iconic roles. The movie grossed over $589 million worldwide, against a $90 million budget. It became that year's third highest grossing film and received worldwide acclaim, with critics praising its humor as well as Jones and Smith's performances. The popularity of the first movie inspired the sequels in the Men in Black series, which were lauded by fans and critics alike. While basking in the immediate success of the first Men in Black, Smith's personal life shifted.
When we gonna get married, man, then you go Russian stuff, man. No, we're very happy. You know, we're in love, we're having fun, and I made that mistake one time. You know, I'm gonna take my time this time, do it right.
After his divorce from Sheree in 1995, he found love again and married actress Jada Corinne Pinkett in 1997, who is best known for the Matrix movie franchise and whom he had met on the set of The Fresh Prince. He courted her by flying her to Mexico in a private jet and giving her jewelry and cars. The pair married in a private ceremony on December 31st, 1997, at a hotel in Baltimore. They refer to each other as life partners, with Will stating, "There are no deal breakers. There's nothing she could do, ever, nothing that would break our relationship," not knowing that that sentiment would be tested massively in the future. Will Smith's second son, Jaden Christopher Sire Smith, was born in 1988, his first child with his wife, Jada. Only a couple of years later, in October 2000, Will and Jada welcomed their daughter, Willow Camille Rain Smith. The pair have allowed their children to pursue careers in the entertainment world. Both Jaden and Willow have released music and starred in films alongside their father.
Another album, yes, I just signed a record deal with Columbia Records. I did the theme song for Men in Black, the video, the video premiered on MTV about 2 days ago, and BET, well, I'm wearing, the video premiered, all over the place on MTV and other places a couple days ago, and I'm just hyped. I finally got to be on a real record company, so I'm just happy, ready to make some real records.
With the release of Men in Black, the theme song for the film, Will Smith also began his solo music career, topping the singles charts in several regions around the world. His debut solo album, Big Willie Style, reached the top 10 of the US Billboard 200 and was certified 9 times platinum. The third single from the album, Getting Jiggy With It, became Smith's first Billboard Hot 100 #1 when it was released in 1998. In 1998, Will Smith starred in Enemy of the State. The following year, he turned down the role of Neo in The Matrix in favor of a role in the film Wild Wild West, a movie that ultimately was a critical failure and is one of Smith's most poorly received roles.
I'm taking a break now. The Enemy of the State, I just finished up Wild Wild West, so I got a few months that I can just sit and relax. So, I'm just taking my time, hanging out with Dick Clark a little bit, and I'm feeling good.
Now, are you the kind of guy that doesn't let your successes go to your head and your failures go to your heart?
That's for sure.
Smith's second album was once again introduced with the theme song to his latest film. The album, titled Willennium, reached number 5 on the Billboard Hot 200 and went on to sell 2 million units. Despite continuing to release music, Will Smith was in high demand as an actor. As his career was taking off in Hollywood, he quickly became one of the highest paid actors in the world. In 2001, Will Smith realized a long-held dream when he portrayed heavyweight boxer Muhammad Ali in the biopic Ali.
I feel really good about the film. Ali is here tonight. He hasn't seen the film yet, so
I'm a little concerned, you know, but I'm a little nervous, but I feel good that I'm confident in the film, and I just hope he and his family love it. I couldn't figure out what the road was from Will Smith to Muhammad Ali. You know, if I were to decide today I want to be Muhammad Ali, what would I do? And intellectually, I couldn't figure it out. And Michael Mann was the first person that really illustrated the road from Will Smith to Muhammad Ali.
While the film wasn't a commercial success due to Lord of the Rings being released at the same time, it won Smith praise from critics. For his performance, he received his first Oscar nomination for Best Actor, as well as the Golden Globe Award, Motion Picture Drama. Following a 4-year musical hiatus, Will Smith returned to music in 2002 with the release of his third studio album, Born to Reign. The album's lead single was the theme song to Men in Black 2, titled Black Suits Coming. The single reached number 3 on the UK singles chart.
People are here and screaming and cheering. You know, people screaming your name, that makes you feel really good. So the movie is hilarious. The album is incredible. So life is really good for me right now. It's one of those moments where you look back and you say, damn, it's going to have to change one day. You know what? It's one of those things. I'm coming out of Ali, and it's almost like it was so far away from who I was, and it was so far away. I adjusted my instincts so much. It was like I wanted to be home. You know, I wanted to be home. So back to MIB2 was almost like coming home, a family reunion, someplace I felt comfortable doing comedy. And the transition was a little bumpy, but once Tommy Lee Jones got on the set, it smoothed out. It was great for me.
Later in the year, Smith released his first compilation album, Greatest Hits, which featured the hottest songs from his 3 solo albums, as well as those produced with DJ Jazzy Jeff. 2003 saw Smith return for Bad Boys 2, a sequel to the 1995 film. Though it received a mixed reaction from critics, it ultimately performed well commercially, grossing $273 million. In the following year, he starred in the animated film Shark Tale and the science fiction film I, Robot. Both films were box office successes despite mixed reviews. Will Smith's next album, Lost and Found, was released in 2005, peaking at number 6 on the Billboard Hot 200. The lead single, Switch, reached the top 10 of both the Billboard Hot 100 and the UK singles charts. In 2005, the actor made it through to the Guinness Book of World Records, having gone to 3 movie premieres in one day. Knowing his son Jaden was keen to enter the world of entertainment, Will Smith starred alongside his son in the 2006 film The Pursuit of Happiness, which is based on a true story.
You know, that guy is, he's such a special spirit. You know, he understands human emotion. He empathizes with people. It was, you know, watching him was like, I was telling somebody earlier, it was kind of like watching a river, you know, or a beautiful sunset. You know, just something natural, beautifully untouched by man. And just in watching him and watching the glory of his natural performance, I just want to not touch him and not mess him up. I just pray every day. I just don't want to mess him up because he's perfect.
Thank you.
His heart-rending performance earned him his second Best Actor nomination. Smith became interested in making the film after seeing Chris Gardner on the television discussing his life story and how he had managed to survive in a world that was willing him to fail.
I am very excited. You know, it's quite the turnout, and you know, this is an overwhelming time in my life. I'm not normally overwhelmed very often, but you know, with having my son in this film, Chris Gardner's life, and developing a friendship with Chris Gardner, and how happy he is and pleased and honored with the film. So I feel like I'm in the right place, doing the right things in my life right now. You know, I saw the 2020 piece on Chris Gardner, and there was a moment where he was standing in a subway bathroom that his son had spent the night in, and I looked in his eyes and I saw that he actually had command over the trauma, right? That he could stand in that bathroom and he was emotionally affected, but he was in command of the trauma and he still had swagger. And I had only seen that look 2 other times, and once was Nelson Mandela and once was Muhammad Ali. So I was very inspired to make this film.
I'm playing Chris Gardner, and he owns one of the biggest black-owned stock brokerage firms in America. And 25 years ago, he was homeless. And the film shows his deterioration to homeless and then his rise to his little piece of the American dream. You know, it's when we were going through it, it was one of those things where you can't even make this movie if it's not a true story. I mean, so many things happened, and just going through all of the stories with Chris, there were things that we couldn't put in the movie because no one would ever believe it as a true story. And his life is amazing, and you know, this fact is stranger than fiction. Well, you know, it was wonderful working with him. He's a bit jet lagged right now, and you know, on the set he found a wonderful energy that he's not finding tonight.
Oh, was it fun working with Dad?
Did you? Was it fun working with Dad?
Yeah, it was cool.
Did he ever forget his lines?
Yeah, sometimes.
Did you ever forget yours?
I don't remember.
You don't remember? Okay. My wife, in her infinite wisdom, she made a brilliant decision. She said the day that we get onto the set, she told me that I was his co-star and she was his mother. So if there was anything in the scenes that I needed to deal with, I could talk to the director, and if there was anything personal with him, I could talk to his mother. But I was forbidden from speaking to him about any of those things on the set.
What was he like on set? Were there demands?
Mm-hmm. You know, I was, you know, I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so I could see where that might have been difficult. But, you know, it turned out that I wasn't as much the teacher as the student. You know, there was such a powerful command and ease and comfort that he had on the set that I'm looking at him like, man, I want to act like that. You know, just no care, no concern, just completely alive in each moment. Whereas I had a performance that I wanted to deliver. You know, I had planned this performance that I was going to deliver. And, you know, he really broke me out of that.
Is it right to ask Jaden, would you follow in your dad's footsteps? Would you like to be an actor?
Yes.
Definitely. And why is it so good being an actor?
Because he has a lot of practice at it.
So you like to practice? Or you know, because I remember I was trying to get you to practice, and you told me, Dad, I got this. I know how to do this.
I got it then.
He knows.
The film, along with Smith's performance, received high praise from critics and fans alike. I Am Legend, one of Smith's most popular films, was released in December 2007 and was the largest ever opening for a film released in the month of December. A reviewer said that the film's commercial success cemented Will Smith's standing as the #1 box office draw in Hollywood.
I Am Legend, Will. We've got to say it's done extraordinarily well in the States.
Yes, absolutely.
The best December opening ever of all time.
Ever. Leapfrog over The Lord of the Rings.
Which is pretty good.
That was pretty good, and I just had a dumb face when I was like, you know, it's like one of those.
Do that again. That's good. That's good. I'm liking that.
When I got the numbers, that's what my face was like. You know, it's you know, you work hard on a movie and you want it to be successful and you promote and all of that, but this is beyond anything that any of us even imagine. And people are reacting and responding to the movie well. So, you know, they're just I don't even know what to say about it.
In 2008, he starred in the superhero film Hancock, which grossed $624 million worldwide.
Your superhero, he's very unusual, isn't he? For the first half of the film, he's a complete nightmare.
Yeah.
He's drunk, aggressive, everyone hates him.
Yeah, that was what I loved when I first read this script. You know, the idea that this is not a normal superhero. You know, we took the idea and approach with the script to throw away all the super elements and just create a character. Create a guy who's just, you know, not really happy. You know, bit of a drunk. You know, and you know, I just think it's funny. There's great drama. There's great action. I'm excited for you guys to
see this one.
You know, I've been focusing on my acting. I think that, you know, I'm just in my prime right now as an actor. So I'm trying to just clear all of that out and stay focused on movies.
To be the guy who's being mean to children, you know, that's the alcoholic superhero is that's definitely a new good. Yeah, oh my God, just such a release, and to be able to say anything, to be able to do anything, and you sort of get the character, you get out of jail free card. You know, it's like when you have a love scene, it doesn't really count as cheating because it's like a scene in the movie. It's so different. I'm looking for things right now in my career that are just really different and fantastic and big ideas, but yet centered around the authenticity of human emotion. You know, it's one of the perfect opportunities. In our process, we actually threw the superhero things out. We're like, there's no superheroes. We're only talking about a guy who is struggling with being the best that he can be. And that was sort of the metaphor that we were looking at for this film, like the high school football player who isn't doing his schoolwork and just isn't living up to the best that he can be. And that's sort of the metaphor we wanted to capture.
In 2010, Will and his wife Jada executive produced the remake of The Karate Kid, starring their son Jaden.
Yeah, he's truly his own being. You know, he has the best of Jada and I. It's just amazing that you can, go to Mexico, drink some tequila, and then he shows up 9 months later. It's amazing.
At which point a set of brackets appear above your head in a little balloon saying he joked.
No, but very, very seriously, he's such a fantastic, disciplined young man, and I think if there's one thing that stands out from him and other children I've worked with and other children I've tried to assist with this journey, the one thing is he's just a brick. It's like he has the combination. He's really sensitive. He's hugely sensitive, so he can capture emotion. But as far as another take, let's do it again. Let's go up these steps one more time. I know you're, 6-day work week, all of that. He has the mentality it takes to bear the weight of what this type of success that this film has had is going to bring in his life.
He doesn't know it, but he's been blessed to have worked with two masters, Jackie and my husband, for his first film. And so, when you really think about the team that he was able to have, I mean, you can't lose.
Will Smith again reprised his role as Agent J in Men in Black 3, which opened on May 25, 2012. His first major starring role in 4 years. After the release of the film, Smith stated he was content with the franchise ending, explaining that 3 films were enough for him. In 2013, Will Smith starred alongside his son Jaden once more in the post-apocalyptic action film After Earth. The film was a disappointment at the domestic box office.
What surprised me the most? I guess for me, it's just the amount of getting to know one another, the amount of bonding that can happen in that environment. I hadn't realized how powerful that time, 10, 12 hours a day, for the past year together is just, been beautiful. Yeah, this is really fantastic,
We didn't notice how cool it was until we saw the poster.
Yeah, that is funny. Like, working together was, a great experience. But then seeing the poster was like, wow, that's really kind of like, has anybody done that before?
After taking a short hiatus, Will Smith was back in action in 2015, starring in Focus alongside Margot Robbie. He played Nikki Spurgeon, a veteran con artist who takes a young woman under his wing. The film received mixed reviews from critics, but was a success at the box office.
Yeah, you know, you can't buy chemistry, and you can't fake it. You either vibe somebody or you don't, you know. And Margot and I have really ridiculous chemistry on camera, which is strange. You know, it's like, because I'm from Philly, she's from Australia, you know, and I'm 46 and she's significantly younger than that.
Yeah, but you're Will Smith.
Yeah, I know.
The whole football sequence was like
Yeah, that was
very
fantastic.
intense, but the funnest to film. You know what I really liked when we did like the dance, like little party thing that we didn't know was gonna happen.
Yeah, that was
That
fun.
was
There
fun.
was the scene where it was after we've completed the big heist and where everybody's kind of hanging out and just drinking and
After the New Orleans
After the
section.
New Orleans, yeah.
It wasn't in the script, but the directors kind of started, we got up there and they're like, just go stand over there. And then they put on music and like started popping bottles of champagne. They're like, everyone just have a party, we're gonna film it. And it was really, really cool.
And they ended up putting it in the film. It was great.
That's so cool.
In 2016, Smith landed a role in the highly anticipated DC movie Suicide Squad. Months of advertisement and promotion gave audiences high hopes for the new villain movie. However, after a long wait for the film to hit theaters, it did not live up to expectations. The film had a star-studded cast, but failed to entertain critics, who had praise for the cast and makeup effects, but criticized the plot, direction, editing, and characters. Despite this, the audience turnout was great, and it became the 10th highest grossing film of 2016.
No, it was a very unique prep process. David Ayer does more. He calls it rehearsal, but it's much more like group therapy, where you sit around and everybody talks about their deepest emotional issues and your trials and tribulations, and you sort of get to know one another, and it creates a deeper comprehension of what's going on with people. So when you're in scenes, David Ayer has us push each other's buttons and things like that. And you as Joel always says, David gets us to trust him and then massively betrays that trust on set at the most opportune moment.
Yeah. And gets a very unique reaction out of it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was fantastic. When you have a character with no rules, where he can literally say or do anything. As an actor, you have such a freedom to be able to ad-lib and create, and you know, no moral bounds. You know, it was a really, really great character to play. I haven't really played a character like that. Bad guys don't think of themselves as bad guys. They think of the other people as bad guys. So it's just like, it's the same kind of mindset, except for different ideas. People think that they're doing right when they're doing things that are wrong and doing things that are evil.
Later that year, Smith starred in director David Frankel's drama, Collateral Beauty, playing a New York advertising executive who succumbs to a deep depression after a personal tragedy. Will Smith's production company, Overbrook Entertainment, collaborated with Netflix in 2017 to distribute his film, Bright. An urban fantasy film, it was the most expensive film for Netflix to date.
Sort of what I love about science fiction is that you can go to these fantastical worlds and spaces, and you can say things that in the world of Bright about our society that you normally wouldn't get to say, or it would just be too harsh. But at the end of the day, the movies, it's entertainment. It's fun. It's exciting. It's wildly creative. The mashup of these worlds, I think, is really creative, and I do love some of the statements that the film's making. You know, it is such an interesting new world in terms of entertainment, how people consume the entertainment. Netflix is way out at the forefront of the new paradigm, so I'm not certain where it's going to land. I'm excited to be in this boat with Netflix right now for their, this is really the first time they've done this size of a global release. And Bright is a full-on $100+ million action movie. They made a movie,
right? You know, in the same way that the big studios would make them. So it'll be interesting to see how people respond to that and emotionally what it means watching it on Netflix versus, you know, the in the theater. So I have no clue, but I'm happy to be a part of it.
I have a 16-year-old and I have an 18-year-old and a 24-year-old at home, and they go to the movies twice a week, and they watch Netflix. There's very little cross between going to the cinema and watching what they watch on Netflix. In my home, and I don't know in other people's home, in my home, Netflix has had absolutely no effect on what they go to the movie theater to watch. They go to the movie theater to be humbled in front of certain images, and there's other films that they prefer to watch at home, and there's really little to no cross. It's not as if they would have gone to the cinema if it wasn't on Netflix. It's two completely different forms of entertainment that they go for. And in my house, Netflix has been nothing but an absolute benefit because they get to watch films that they never even would have seen. Netflix brings a great connectivity for them into the world. There's movies that aren't on a screen, you know, within 8,000 miles of them. And now they get to find those artists, and then they look them up online and they make contact. And there's this whole underground world of artists that gets born from that kind of connectivity. So in my home in general, it's done nothing but broaden my children's cinematic global comprehension.
Several publications noted that while critics were harsh in their judgment of the film, viewers seemed to enjoy it more and gave it positive reactions on social media. Netflix announced that the film had been viewed more times in its first week than any of its other releases. 2017 also saw Will Smith join the infamous streaming platform YouTube and launch his own channel, where he's been giving a behind-the-scenes look at his daily life and ongoings with his family. With his videos, he has become a source of inspiration and motivation for millions around the globe. In 2019, Will Smith took on the infamous role of the genie in the live-action remake of Disney's Aladdin. He had big shoes to fill since the role was originally played by the late Robin Williams, who delivered a beloved performance in the original 1992 film. The popular songs Friend Like Me and Prince Ali were recorded by Smith for the new movie.
50 years old, this has been one of the best years of my life so far. You know, it's working a lot smarter instead of harder, and I'm having a beautiful time. I got to be the genie in Aladdin, which is singing, dancing, rapping, action sequences, drama, comedy, special effects. It's like everything that I've amassed over the last 30 years as a performer, I was able to do in this movie.
You know, the singing, dancing, drama, comedy, action, the adventure is everything that I've cultivated as a performer for the last 30 years to be able to do it in one film, and for a big chunk of it to be CGI. The great thing with the CGI is you get 2, 3, and 4 opportunities to get it right. You do it one time in rehearsal, and yeah, you kind of like it, and then you do it on set, and you sort of like the lines you came up with. Then you go into motion capture, and then you can try something different. So it's so many opportunities to be able to get it right. So, and I loved it.
This was the reason I went looking for you last night, was actually it was the consistency of your performance, which, you know, for you and I on the day is hard to recognize, but when you watch it as a whole, that's the principal reason I came looking for you, because it actually looked like we knew what we were doing.
Right, yeah.
The film was released on May 24th, 2019, and despite the internet's dislike of the trailer and the new design for the genie, grossed over $1 billion worldwide to become Smith's highest-grossing film ever, surpassing Independence Day. In Ang Lee's 2019 Gemini Man, Will Smith appeared as an assassin who faces off against a younger clone of himself. In 2020, he re-teamed up with Martin Lawrence for the third film in their franchise, Bad Boys for Life, which has grossed over $426 million worldwide, becoming one of the highest-grossing films of 2020, though it's ultimately hard to tell how much the pandemic affected that. Due to production delays in 2020 because of the coronavirus pandemic, Will Smith has been using his YouTube channel to connect with his fans. He also hosted his own Snapchat show, Will from Home.
I mean, you know, nobody did more love scenes than my wife, so she understands the nature of doing those scenes. That there's 50 people standing around, and it's definitely, you can't have fun in a love scene on the set. You can have fun in your trailer if you're going to rehearse, but it is not a comfortable situation.
Will's relationship with Jada is tumultuous, to say the least. From the outside looking in, the relationship has baffled many, coming across as bizarre in many ways. Smith and Jada seem to have conflicting reports on what exactly their private relationship is like. Jada has, in the past, been very open about having cheated on her husband, notably with her son's friend, rapper August Alsina. In 2021, Will stated that him and Jada never believed in a conventional marriage. In 2013, Jada took to Facebook to address rumors that she and Will have an open marriage. The impassioned post ends with the following message: "Will and I both can do whatever we want because we trust each other to do so. This does not mean we have an open relationship. This means we have a grown one." In 2015, Jada appeared on Howard Stern and discusses her relationship with Will. "I'm not the kind of woman that believes that a man's not going to be attracted to other women," says Jada during the interview. "It's just not realistic. And because your man is attracted to another woman doesn't mean he doesn't love you, and it doesn't mean he's gonna act on it." Then in 2020, the entanglement began to unravel. While promoting his upcoming album, The Product 3: State of Emergency, August Alsina sits down with The Breakfast Club's Angela Yee and claims that he gave years of his life to Jada in a romantic relationship with Will Smith's blessing. Later that day, reps for Jada calls Alsina's claims absolutely not true. In October of 2023, Jada said that she and Smith had been divorced since 2016, further adding to the confusion. Needless to say, there is more to this couple than meets the eye with their on-again, off-again love life. However, on the flip side, rumors of Will Smith and Margot Robbie being in some kind of an affair were made after a post on Instagram between the two was uploaded showing a shirtless Will and the lingerie-wearing Margot. After working together on both Focus and Suicide Squad, these rumors only became more well-known as stories of them being unusually close to each other on set led to Robbie making a statement completely denying and dispelling the rumor on Twitter. Will, however, has remained silent on the subject. Ultimately, while the relationship is their private situation, it is undeniably strange from the outside looking in, and is further confused by what came in March of 2022. Smith's role in the 2021 biographical drama King Richard earned him a BAFTA, Screen Actors Guild Award, Golden Globe and Critics' Choice Movie Award, and the National Board of Review Annual Awards, all for Best Actor.
I am humbled by the reaction to this film. I can't completely articulate what is happening, but as Trevor was saying, people are feeling this movie in a way. I mean, I walk down the street and I say, "Will Smith," you know. It's me.
Despite this, it was his Oscar that earned him headlines, and not for the good reasons. At the 94th Academy Awards, March 27, 2022, Will Smith's life changed forever. In a now famous moment for all the wrong reasons, Will Smith walked on stage and struck Chris Rock across the face after Chris made a joke about his wife's shaved head. Rock quickly recovered, and the show went on as usual. However, when Will won an Oscar, the first in his entire career, the awkwardness continued in a tearful speech. The slap heard around the world, as it has sometimes been referred to as, was one of the most viral moments of the year and has since destroyed Will's reputation. But can he recover? So did one horrible moment ruin an entire legacy? Or did Will build up enough goodwill and image to overcome this blemish on his career? Will Smith has been a huge name for well over a decade within the industry. Through hard work, determination, and a little bit of luck, he has pushed through and very quickly became one of the most recognizable names on the planet. He has gone through both hits and misses throughout his career, and has certainly shown multiple sides of his personality and personal life through celebrity gossip and news. Though the Oscar incident has certainly affected Smith on a personal and financial level, he is still a big player within the industry, and with a career filled with highs and lows, he will go down forever as one of the biggest stars of the early 21st century. As we conclude, as Will Smith emerges from his self-imposed hibernation this year, can he reclaim his throne atop the box office? Can he replicate his past successes and move forwards? Or will the lingering memory of the Oscars incident and his actions there prompt audiences to reassess their perception of their worldwide celebrated actor? Only time will truly tell.
We're always trying to create something special that resonates, that reaches hearts and sparks minds.